Hi, Helen from crystalsandcrochet.com here. Welcome to part 8, the final part of Octagonical. We are going to be working rounds 98 through to 104. Okay, so puff stitches first of all, normal ones and mini ones, which I will show you how to do. And then we've just got a really nice edging that gives weight to the blanket with front and back post stitches. Okay, hope you enjoy. Round 98. Okay, so we've got a hint at the beginning that says all puff stitches are made to the height of a double crochet, and all mini puff stitches are made to the height of a half double crochet with no lift. Okay, so obviously I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to join with a beginning puff stitch to the height of a double crochet, and we need to mark this stitch in any chain 2 corner space. Okay, so to make a beginning puff stitch, yarn over. Okay, you can do this with a slip stitch where you just pull the yarn up, but when you're going to do a standing one, yarn over into the chain 2 space. Okay, pull up a loop and then pull up to the height of a double crochet. Okay, making sure that you keep hold of all of this, otherwise it'll all spin round. Okay, so we've done one, so yarn over, pull up a loop 2, yarn over, in, pull up a loop 3, yarn over, pull up a loop 4 times. Okay, and pinch, grab a loop, pull through all of them and chain 1 to close. Okay, so that's our starting or beginning puff stitch, or a standing puff stitch, whatever you like to call it. Okay, now we're going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, which is the single crochet, and then we are going to puff stitch, so remember height of a double crochet, in the next chain 1 space in here. We're then going to chain 1 and skip a stitch, and we're going to do that twice. Okay, so yarn over into the chain 1 space, pull up a loop to the height of a double crochet, and we're going to do that 4 times. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, yarn over, pinch, turn your hook down slightly and pull through all the loops, make a chain 1 to close. Okay, and then chain 1. So the chain 1 to close is part of the puff stitch, and your pattern will often then tell you to chain 1 or 2 or however many afterwards. Okay, in this case it's 1. Okay, so we've done that once, up to the height of a double crochet, 2, 3 and 4, through and chain 1 to close, and then chain 1 again. Okay, and skip the next stitch. So we've done that. We're now going to puff stitch in that last chain 1 space, 2, 3 and 4, through and chain 1 to close. Okay, so we've got a puff stitch in our chain 2 corner space, got a chain 1, skip a stitch, puff stitch in the chain 1, working across, so puff stitch in the final one, so we're not working into our clusters or our single crochets there. Okay, now we're going to chain 2 and we're going to skip the next 4 stitches. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to single crochet, oops, in the next stitch. Okay, so of that group of 5, our single crochet is going to sit in the center one, the third one. Okay, excuse me. Okay, chain 2, skip the next 2 stitches, and then in the next stitch, which is the single crochet made into the double 2 together, we're going to make a mini puff stitch. So to make a mini puff, put my teeth back in, to make a mini puff stitch, no yarn over, okay, straight in, pull up a loop, and then we're going to 3 times, so yarn over, in, yarn over, and in, and once more, yarn over and in. Okay, so our hook is sitting on top of our stitches, so it comes to the height of a half double crochet, but technically it's like we're doing a single crochet through and chain 1 to close. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2. Excuse me. Skip the next 2 stitches. Okay, we're going to do this 3 times. So skip 2, single crochet in the next one, chain 2, skip 2, mini puff in the next one. So with a mini puff, it's straight in and pull up a loop, but only so that your hook sits on the top. And you're then, oops, going to yarn over, pull up a loop 3 times. Sorry, my pattern keeps moving. 1, 2, and 3. Through all the loops and chain 1. 1, 2. Skip the next 2 stitches, single crochet, chain 2. Skip the next 2 stitches, mini puff stitch, 1, 2, and 3. And remember, if you pinch at the bottom and turn your hook down, it will slide through all of the loops much more easily. Okay, so we've got our normal puff stitches here, which are made to the height of a double crochet, and then these are our mini puff stitches, which, as you can see, that's a single crochet. That's more the height of a half double crochet, but there's no lift as you make it. Chain 2. Hold on, how many times have I done that? Mini puff stitch in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3 times. Yep. Skip 2, 1, 2, single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so we've got a single crochet in the center of each of those groups of 5 single crochet. And then we are going to chain 2 and skip the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to repeat with the height of the double crochet again. So it's yarn over into the chain 1 space, pull up to the height of a double, 1, 2, 3, 4, through chain 1. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, puff stitch in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, skip the next stitch, puff stitch in the next chain 1 space. Okay. So that's our repeat as we are working across. So your mini puff stitches are sitting in the shell and your normal puff stitches are sitting in the chain 1 spaces between the clusters. Okay, so our repeat ends there. Starts here, ends there. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and do that 4 times. I'll catch up with you once I've done the 4 repeats, just so that I can go over the corner with you again. So the end of our 4th repeat brings us here. So again, just to recap, your normal size puff stitches are made in the chain 1 spaces between the clusters, and your mini puff stitches are made into the single crochets that have been made down into or in between the double crochet 2 together. So they're at the top of the shells, the normal ones are at the bottom of the shells. Okay, so once you've finished that 4 times, you've got a chain 2, and we need to skip these 4 stitches at the end of the repeat. So then we're going to puff stitch in the chain 1 space, and that's to the height of a double crochet. Chain 1. And we're going to do that twice. Sorry, just reading the pattern again. I've done that 4 times. Puff stitch in there, so that's 1, and then the second one, we are repeating that twice. 3 and 4 falls into that last chain 1 space. Okay, we are then going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, which is the single crochet, and we're going to puff stitch into the chain 2 corner space, again height of a double crochet, and we're going to mark that stitch. So I would suggest put your marker in the closing chain 1 of your corner puff stitch. Okay, let me go back and mark the first one as well. Okay, so you're going to work around like that. It's one of those repeats that when you get into the swing of it, it's actually really easy to do. You've got chain 1s in between the tall puffs, and you've got chain 2s coming all the way around the top of the shell. Okay, work all the way round. Once you get right back to the beginning, join to the beginning puff stitch, fasten off and secure your ends. Round 99. Okay, we've got a hint, and the hint is in bold print, so that you absolutely pay attention to it. All stitches worked into puff stitches are worked into the chain 1 closing space. Okay, so if you look at an actual puff stitch, that is the actual top loop of the puff stitch. Okay, this one here. So it's right off to the side of it. Closing chain 1 space sits right on top of the puff stitch. Okay, so that's where you're going to work. Okay, so we are going to join with a standing double crochet in the last chain one space of any side. Okay, so that's our corner puff stitch, so this is our last chain 1 space. So standing double, oops, sorry, losing everything. And we're going to double crochet in the same space. Okay, so you've got 2 double crochet in that chain 1 space before your corner puff stitch, sorry, not popcorn. Okay, double crochet in the corner puff stitch, remembering to work into the chain 1, closing chain 1. Okay, so your stitch sits on top and not before your puff stitch. 2 double crochet in the next chain 1 space. Okay, we're then going to double crochet in the next stitch, which is the puff stitch, and double crochet in the chain 1 space twice. Okay, so into the closing chain 1, into the chain 1 space, that's once, and twice. Okay, don't worry if it looks a little bit gappy. That will all, as we work the next couple of rounds, it's going to bring everything back together again. Double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so working from the corner, we've got 2 double crochet in the first space, then we've got 1 in the stitch, 1 in the space, 1 in the stitch, 1 in the space, 1 in the stitch. You're going to make 2 double crochet in the next chain 2 space. Oops. Okay. And then we've got a repeat. Okay, we've got bold purple brackets, but within that we've got a little mini repeat to do 6 times to begin with. Okay, so we're going to single crochet in the stitch and then 2 single crochet in the chain 2 space. Okay, and the same with your mini puffs, don't work into the side, work into the closing chain 1. Okay, so that's 2 times. Two single crochet, 3 times, and 2 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. And 6. Okay, so that repeat brings us to the last chain 2 space working over that shell. Single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, 2 double crochet in the next chain space. And double crochet in the next stitch, and again we're going to do that 3 times. Okay, so 1, 2 and 1, that's twice. 1, 2 and 1, so that's 3 times. And then we are going to make 2 double crochet in the next chain space. Okay, and that is our repeat that we're going to do 3 times. Okay, so single crochet in the stitch, 2 single crochet in the chain 2 space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, single crochet in the next stitch, and then you've got 2 double crochet in the chain space, 1 in the stitch, once, twice, 3 times, and then finish with 2 double crochet in the next chain space. And you're going to do that 3 times. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that 3 times, then I'll come back to you. So 3 times with the repeat brings us to here. So now we're going to work across the shell in the same way. So it's single crochet in the stitch, 2 single crochet in the chain 2 space, and we're going to do that 6 times, remembering to work into the closing chain 1 of the puff stitches. Two in the chain space, 1 in the stitch, 1, 2, and 1, 1, 2, and 1. Okay, so again, as we work around the corner, we are going to make 2 double crochet in the next chain space, and then double crochet in the stitch and double crochet in the chain space 3 times. Okay, and then double, oops, oh no, that's my tail end. I'll redo that one anyway. Okay, so that's our 3 repeats, and then we are going to double crochet in the same chain space. So we've got 2 in that chain space before the corner. Okay, so 2 in the chain 2 space there, and then it's 1 and 1, 1 and 1, 1 and 1, and a second one in that last chain space before your corner stitch. Okay, so go ahead and repeat that on all 8 sides, And when you come round to the beginning, you are going to join with the join to the standing double crochet, fasten off and secure your ends. Okay, round 100. Oops, that's it. Get hold of everything correctly. Okay, so we're going to join with a standing front post double crochet around the last stitch of any side. Okay, so obviously that's our corner stitch, so we want a front post double around that last stitch before our corner stitch. Then we're going to make 3 double crochet in the corner stitch. So let's just take that marker out. Okay, so 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to put our marker into the second or centre one. Okay, then we're going to repeat this 4 times. Okay, so front post double around the next stitch and double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so when you do your front posts, make sure you become below that third loop so that you're around the post and not just under the top loops. Okay, so front post and then a normal double. 1, 2, 3, so this is the 4th one. Okay, so there's that repeat 4 times, and then we're going to make a front post double around that last double crochet. Okay, we're then going to make 2 double crochet in the next stitch, so that's this first single crochet that's made into the single crochet. 2 double crochet in there. So what we're doing now basically is we are straightening off our sides. Okay, skip the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, single crochet in 13. 4, 5, 12 and 13. Okay, so the 13th single crochet is going to come into the single crochet made in that last mini puff stitch. Okay, we're then going to skip the next 2 stitches and double crochet and 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so we're going to skip these 2 that are made into the chain space and then 2 double crochet into the single crochet made into the single crochet. Okay, that last one before our doubles start. And then again we're going to alternate front post double and then double, and we're going to do that 5 times. So 1, 2, 12 and 13. Okay, so the 13th single crochet is going to come into the single crochet made in that last mini puff stitch. Okay, we're then going to skip the next 2 stitches and double crochet and 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so we're going to skip these 2 that are made into the chain space and then 2 double crochet into the single crochet made into the single crochet. Okay, that last one before our doubles start. And then again we're going to alternate front post double and then double, and we're going to do that 5 times. So 1, oops, 2, okay, and that's the 5th time. So we got front post double, double, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then finish with a front post double. Okay, so that is our repeat. We've got 2 double crochet in that first single, and then we skip 2 stitches. We've then got 13 single, skip 2 stitches, 2 double crochet in the last single, and then we're going to alternate front post double, normal double 5 times, make another front post double. Okay, and you're going to do that 3 times. Yeah, you're going to do that 3 times. Okay, so work across those 3 and I will join up with you for the last part of this side. Oops, got carried away. Okay, so your 3rd repeat will end here, and then again with that front post double. So then again you're going to do 2 double crochet in the first single, skip the next 2, 13 single, skip the next 2, 2 double crochet in the last single, and then to match the other side you are going to front post double around the next stitch, double in the next stitch 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then end with another front post double before you go into the whole repeat again, which starts with the 3 double crochet in the corner. Okay, so once you are done, work all the way round, join to the standing front post double, fasten off and secure your
Round
ends.
101. We're going to join with a standing double crochet in the last stitch of any side. Okay, so obviously the one before our more marked corner stitch, normal double crochet in that stitch. Then we're going to make 3 double crochet into the corner, same as we did in the last round. 2 and 3, and we are going to place our marker in the second of those stitches. Okay, then we're going to double crochet in the next stitch and front post double around, around the next stitch. So your front post doubles will be made around front post doubles, and your normal double crochets will be made into the normal double crochets. Okay, so it's very, very easy to follow this round, and we're just sort of building up a pattern of front post stitches. Okay, so double crochet into the double crochet, front post double around the double, and I need to do that 6 times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 once more, and there's 6. Okay, so that last front post double is made around the last double crochet. You're then going to make 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, this is a, if you like, the main repeat going across the sides. Okay, so 2 double crochet in the next stitch, skip the next stitch, just 1 this time, okay, and single crochet in 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Okay, and then we are going to skip the next stitch and make 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so as we work around the arch, we've got 2 double crochet go into the first single, we then skip the next one, 9 single crochet, skip the next one, 2 double crochet into the last single. Okay, and then working in between the shells, we are going to front post double around the next stitch and double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so apart from the first and last one, the front post doubles all go around front post doubles, and the double crochets all go into the double. So I'm just going to finish this across and I'll come back to you. So obviously you should now be pretty good at reading the pattern. So from where our asterisk is, from asterisk to asterisk is a full side, but then where we've got brackets, that's repeats. So first of all, we've got 3 double crochet in the corner. Put your marker in the second one. We've then got a smaller repeat because it's just got normal black brackets. Double crochet in next stitch, front post double 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we've got a bold purple bracket, okay, which tells us there's, if you like, it's a slightly more complicated repeat. So we've got 2 double crochet that fall into the first single, skip the next one, 9 single crochet, skip the next one, 2 double crochet in the last of those single crochets. Okay, and then again we've got front post double around the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and then we finish that repeat that's in the bold purple brackets with a front post double. Okay, you need to do that 3 times, and I'm going to do that 3 times and just come back to you just to go across that last little part of this side. Oops, got carried away. Okay, so excuse me. So you'll repeat 3 times, ends here, and then you're basically going to do the same thing working across the next shell. 2 double crochet in the first single, skip the next one, 9 single crochet, skip the next one, 2 double crochet in that last single, and then front post around the next stitch, front post double around the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Okay, and that brings you right to the end. So go ahead and do that on all 8 sides, and when you get all the way back round to the beginning, join to the standing double crochet, fasten off and secure your ends. Round 102. We're going to join with a standing front post double around the last stitch of any side. Okay, so the one before our marked corner stitch. Okay, and then again we are going to make 3 double crochet in our corner stitch. Okay, whoop, 1, 2 and 3, and place your marker in the second double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to sort of carry on with this idea. So we are going to front post double around the next stitch. Okay, so that's the third of the stitches that was made into the previous corner. And then we are going to double crochet in the next stitch, and we're going to do that 8 times. Okay, so again your front posts are falling around your front posts and your doubles are falling in your doubles. Okay, I'll come back to you when I've done that 8 times. Okay, so 8 times. So the last front post double is made around the last double crochet, and the last double is made into the first single crochet. Okay, and then our repeat starts that we're going to do 3 times as we work across each side. I'm going to double crochet in the next 8 stitches. Okay, that's 2 and 8. Okay, so the 8th double crochet of that group of 8 falls into the last single crochet, and you're then going to front post double around the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch 10 times. So again, your front post doubles are following your front post doubles, and your double crochets are following your double crochets as you work across. Okay, so you've got this sort of ridged effect coming up with that. Okay, so I'm going to do that and work across to the other side because this is very, very simple. But I'll just work across to the other side so that you can see the whole repeat. Okay, so the third repeat ends here. Okay, and then again you're going to double crochet in the next 8 stitches, and then again you're going to front post double around the next stitch, double crochet in the next, and again following the front post doubles here. You are going to do that 7 times and then front post double around the last stitch. Okay, so you can see that everything is now actually level. Okay, so go ahead and repeat that 8 times, so on each side. remember to place your marker in the second double crochet of each corner, all the way round. Make that last front post double on the last side, join to that standing front post double, fasten off and secure your ends. Round 103. Okay, and our pattern gives us a hint. In the final 2 rounds you will be making back post stitches around the front post stitches and vice versa to give weight to the edge of your blanket. Okay, so we're going to join with a standing front post double around the last stitch of any side. Okay, so that's the first of the 3 double crochets made into any corner. Okay, and again we're going to make 3 double crochet into the corner stitch, and we're going to place our marker in the second of those 3 double crochet. Okay, so that's 3 double crochet, marker in the second one. Okay, and we are then going to front post double around the next stitch and back post double around the next stitch. Now the blanket is quite large now, and there's 8 sides to do, and there's a lot of stitches, and I know some of you will go, "Ooh, I hate front and back post stitches," but you've spent all this time making a beautiful blanket, and this stitch mixture or technique, or whatever you like to call it, gives the edges of your blanket weight, and it helps it to lie nice and flat. Okay, so it's worth doing. It's worth taking your time with it. So, as the hint said, we're making back post stitches around front post stitches, and when you come on to the final round, it's definitely the vice versa bit. Okay, so for now you're going to front post around each normal double crochet, and you are going to back post around each front post. Okay, so that is the effect that you get. You are going to front post, back post 62 times, and then you will end with a front post double around the last stitch of each side, 3 double crochet in each corner, mark the second or center one. Okay, so it's nice and simple, but it just takes a little bit of effort. All the way round, join to the standing front post double crochet, fasten off, secure your ends, and I will see you for the last round once we've done this. Okay, round 104, the final round. You could, if you wanted to, as an alternative, just do all single crochets, or you could do crab stitch reverse single crochet around if you wanted to with this round, but I think this gives it a much nicer finish. Okay, so we are going to join with a standing front post half double around the last stitch of any side. Okay, so that's the first of the group of 3 double crochets made into any corner, so front post half double. Okay, we are then going to make 1 half double crochet into our corner stitch, and you are then going to front post half double around the next stitch and back post half double around the next stitch. Okay, so you are working a front post around the back post stitches and a back post around the front post stitches, and just 1 half double crochet in each corner stitch. The first and last stitch of each side will be a front post half double. Okay, I'm just going to do a couple more so that you can see the effect. And once you get going, it's quite simple and easy to do. Okay, just remember to keep your stitches below all of the top loops so that you're right around the stitch and coming underneath those top loops. Okay, let's zoom that in a little bit. I hadn't realised I was so far out. Okay, so that's the effect that you're going to get, which gives a really nice sort of thick and chunky edge to your blanket. Okay, so work all the way around. You're going to do the repeat of front post half double, back post half double 62 times, and then another front post half double on the last stitch of each side. Okay, once you've worked all the way around, join to the standing front post half double, fasten off, secure your ends, work away all of your ends. When I finish a blanket, I always wash it, purely because I've dragged it around the floor, Mr. J's laid on it a few times. For whatever reason, I like to wash my blankets so that they're completely clean once I finish them. I normally, with acrylics, I will always block first and then wash, purely because it's so quick and easy to block an acrylic blanket by just pinning it out and using a hairdryer. Just use it on a high heat and slow speed. Hold about 1 inch or 2 inches above your work, and as you hold the hairdryer down onto the work, just push with your hands so that you're sort of setting the stitches in place. If you're working with cotton or wool or any natural fibre, then you do need moisture. Okay, so you either need steam, or you can spray with a water bottle, or you can wash, pin out and let it dry, and that will block. With acrylics, once it's been blocked, it will never need blocking again, because the heat sets the acrylic yarn in place. Okay. With cottons and natural fibres, you may find that you need to pull to shape when you've washed for a second time, but most of the time, if you give blankets a really good blocking the first time, then after subsequent washes all you will need to do is give it a really good shake and let it dry. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this crochet along, and I hope to see you for more crochet alongs in the future. Thanks for joining us.